David Perel, and I'm chatting with Ntsika.
I'm sitting here with South Africa's most loved racing driver, David Perel.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for your time and availing yourself.
It's a pleasure.
I just want to say something. I mean, I am so happy I'm doing this show because it's exposing me to a whole lot. I had no idea there was such a stunning place called the Radison Hotel. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you for picking this location for us.
Yeah, I was lucky. I'm staying at a friend at the moment,
Sure.
and it's 100 meters away.
Oh,
so
great.
It was
Stunning.
really convenient
Absolutely
for me.
stunning. Listen, you grew up in Cape Town?
Yes.
Yes. So tell us about your upbringing in Cape Town.
I was actually born in Johannesburg, but I moved here when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
And I lived in Hout Bay, Cape Town. It's a tiny little town,
Sure.
30 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Went to a little school there, and then also went to Campsburg High School.
Yeah.
And yeah, I grew up. I have a brother and a sister, and I'm very close with my brother. We're only a year apart,
Okay.
and we started racing together sort of when we were 15 years old,
Okay.
and then started to run a business together once we left school, which
Sure.
we still run to this day.
Okay, what's the business?
It's a tech company. We make themes for WordPress, which is like a content management system. It allows you to build your own website.
Oh,
basically.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And how would you describe your upbringing?
I had a privileged upbringing, I'm not denying that, but I definitely had to work for everything that I wanted,
Sure.
which I'm pretty proud of.
Sure.
I've enjoyed my life, honestly. I've made my own way, made it myself with
Sure.
my brother, and with help from some friends and stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, it's been good.
And you've always been passionate about racing?
Yeah, when I was 3 years old, I saw a picture of my dad in a racing car.
Sure.
Because he tried, when he was younger, in his early 20s, he wanted
Yeah.
to race, so he tried for 2 or 3 years. And unfortunately for him, I found the photos, and I wanted to emulate him ever since then.
Sure, sure. And do your parents ever, worry about anything happening to you? This is, I presume, a very dangerous sport. I'd never do it, so, go figure. But your parents ever worry about, any dangers, anything happening to you while you are racing?
Yeah, my mom used to, but luckily nothing serious has happened to me. I have broken my leg.
Okay, do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, it was my second race in cars.
Okay.
When I took on this GT racing in Korea.
Okay.
And we had brake failure. It was in Malaysia, the brakes overheated, and yeah, I went off the road and hit the wall.
But what do you do in such circumstances? Do they train you for, dangerous situations?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
But I've been racing since I was 15, and
Sure.
that's been the only injury I've ever had.
Sure.
So I've been very lucky, and to be honest, a lot of my friends who I race against have also had very minor injuries. So generally it's been pretty good. My mom always gets nervous, my dad is quite chill about it.
And what do you love most about your family?
We are super loud and we talk over each other and everyone's very opinionated. I love it. Honestly, when you go for lunch at my house, when I bring friends over, they think that we're shouting at each other.
But
we're
actually,
not.
not.
We're just having a good time.
You mentioned you and your brother are basically in the same field. You guys started racing together. There's never a bit of competition between the two brothers?
Well, he stopped racing, I think, when he was about 21, because we had to pay for our own racing. And he decided it's getting ridiculous because it's so expensive. And he moved over to cycling.
Sure.
But during that time, we never really raced in the same category. There was maybe 1 or 2 races where we raced together. And yeah, it was good. It was good fun. My brother liked seeing me do well, and I liked seeing him do well. So there's no competitiveness really.
Just talk me through the preparation stage for your racing competitions. What does it all entail?
Before the races, actually, I do quite a lot of preparation myself. Obviously, there's a lot of training. The cars themselves get up to 60 degrees inside. That's like imagine you leave your car in the sun, a black car, get in the car, turn on the heater, it's still hotter than that.
For sure.
Yeah, so you have to do a lot of training with hoodies on and my helmets at the gym and like embarrassing stuff like that. I run every single day.
Okay.
But then on like the mental side and the practical side, I look for the track I'm going to on Google Maps.
Sure.
I study it, I print the track out, draw racing lines on it, make some notes, and then I watch a lot of YouTube videos, which I know sounds...
No, but that's great.
Yeah, YouTube and PlayStation.
I actually saw you in an interview, top billing.
Yes.
You were, using a PlayStation.
Exactly. Since I was 10 years old, I realized that if I want to be a good racing driver, I need to drive all the time. But actually practicing at a real racetrack costs so much money. So I needed to find an alternative. So I bought a PlayStation, steering wheel and pedals, and just used that, which everyone used to joke about. I used to be embarrassed to tell people that. Now it's like a massive industry is race simulation.
For sure,
yeah.
For sure. What are the dynamics of having a co-driver?
It can be quite difficult because it's about teamwork, and in my case, like last year I had a really good teammate, even though he couldn't speak a word of English. He was Italian.
Okay. Do you choose your teammates? Do you?
They choose me.
Oh.
Yeah, because often it's in our kind of series you have a driver who's incredibly successful and wealthy and he wants to go racing, and in our series you need two drivers, so he'll be the one. He pays for the racing and he wants a good and fast driver with him to try and elevate him in the results. So I sort of sit there and watch my phone and wait for it to ring. Yeah.
So what's the difference between a Ferrari and a Lamborghini? Driving them, what are the differences and how does it feel?
They have different engines. So the Lamborghini has a V10.
I'm looking at your cap right now and I'm thinking something, yes.
And then the Ferrari has a V8, which is like a screaming loud engine.
Yeah.
They're both very different in their characteristics, both very fun to drive. I do prefer the Ferrari, just in terms of its handling, whereas the Lamborghini, it's four-wheel drive, it's very good like when there's wet weather and stuff like that, lots of grip. The Ferrari's like more nippy and like better around tight circuits. It's a lot of fun.
So if you had to choose between the two, which one?
How can you choose between a Lamborghini and a Ferrari?
Of course, for sure. I'm going to put you on the spot. You have to choose one.
At the moment, the car I'm racing at the moment, which is called a Ferrari 458 GT3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you must feel like in heaven driving those
magic.
cars. Wow.
It's magic.
How did it feel winning your first Spa?
When I won at Spa, it's really special. I got a call at the last minute. I just arrived back from Europe. I was unpacking my bags, and then the team said to me, "Get back on the plane. You need a race in Belgium where this track is." And yeah, it was magic.
Wow. And what is your favorite track ever in the world?
There's a track in Italy called Mugello, which is similar to Spa. It's like very fast and flowing, but there's just something about it. It's like putting a racetrack in Franschhoek. It's amazing.
And what is your most challenging racetrack?
There's another track in Italy called
What's up in Italy?
I raced in Italy last year.
Okay.
Entirely, and then this year I'm racing in Europe.
Okay.
But the difficult tracks, my favorite tracks were in Italy. Maybe it's like a passion thing, I'm not sure. Imola in Italy is where Ayrton Senna unfortunately lost his life, so it's quite special there. There's like an aura around that track which you can't explain.
And tell us about your 3-year deal with Ferrari.
Earlier this year, while we were still negotiating with Lamborghini, my manager managed to get an invite from Ferrari to do a test with them, and I tested against one of their pro drivers. It was a 2-day test, and on the second day I ended up going quicker than their guys, so they asked me to race for them and offered me a 3-year deal to race in Europe.
Wow, congratulations, David.
In a series called the Blancpain GT series, which is like the pinnacle of GT racing.
Sure. And how does it feel when you get all this, congratulations and all this, I don't know what to call it, English is running away, but how does it feel when all of this is just coming to you?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I had to sell everything that I owned and used all my savings to try and make this dream a reality.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I would spend, because I stopped when I was 23 to save as much money as I could, and I only came back around the age of 30.
Sure.
So I spent years wondering if I could actually get back into it, if it was actually a realistic goal.
Sure.
So to see it happening as it is now, it's something that's very difficult to explain, but I love it. I'm so happy.
Were there ever times where you said, actually, I should just leave this?
Yes.
Yeah.
The year that I got back in, at the beginning of that year, I gave away my race helmets. I gave them to people who'd helped me in the past when I was karting.
Sure.
and I was checked out. And then halfway through the year, I was watching a race called the Lamar 24 Hour, which is a massive event.
Sure.
And I said to myself, why am I not there? Surely I can get there. Started cold calling the race teams who competed in the event. Got a lot of no's, and one of them said yes. And one thing led to another. Yeah, so I had to rush and get my helmets back. Actually,
for sure. And how do you deal with disappointment and rejection in this industry?
You have to have a thick skin, but you just got to keep going. You got to, the guy may say no, but the next guy may say yes.
For sure.
The 101st door that you knock on may be the one that opens.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. O-Box, how and why did you start?
We started it because when I left school, I thought I was going to be a full-time racing driver. And my father said to me, well, how are you going to pay for that? So I said, yeah, I have to work or study. So I started working for him for a few months as a programmer.
Sure.
And then a year later, my brother came in. And he was actually much better at programming than me. To be honest, I spent most of my time designing my race helmets in Microsoft Paint, so I could be the designer and he could be the developer.
Sure.
And that's one thing led to another. We actually had our own online TV show.
Wow.
Which had like 40,000 viewers.
Amazing.
So my brother and I would sit on a couch every single day and film the show and then upload it online back in the day when the internet was beyond slow.
Wow, David, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell me, do you enjoy web development?
Yeah, I love it.
Do you still do it to the same?
I still do. That's why I live in this country. I fly back to work. Yeah.
Where do you envision O-Box in the next 10 years?
Oh, I'm not sure, to be honest. We only think 1 year ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and why
it's
is
hopefully
that?
big enough. I mean, we already, we have a product which is used by hundreds of thousands of people. Hopefully we can get that to the millions. That's usually what my brother and I speak about. But we believe in getting one user at a time.
Sure.
So our focus is the next user, not the next 100,000.
South Africa was, in complete pain and havoc at the passing of your good friend Gugu Zulu.
Yes.
What did that do to the South African race scene?
I raced with Gugu in 2008. Actually, just before I stopped, we were racing together. Not in the same team, but we were in the same category at the racetracks all the time. And we were, Gugu was a lovely guy, and I had no idea how many people outside of racing he had affected.
Sure.
Friends of mine who aren't even interested in racing were sad about the passing of Gugu.
Sure.
And to me it was amazing to just see how many people he touched outside of the racing world. He was a magical person.
And how did that affect you?
I was devastated, truly I was. He was such a nice guy. I mean, he was doing so much for just, more than just racing. And to think that someone like Gugu, who was actually going to race in a brand new series in South Africa this year called GTC, he just signed the deal, they just announced it, he was really excited to get into it, and he was doing so well in rally. It's too soon. I mean, I got stickers made because he had a big smiley face on his helmet. But the next helmet I have will have that smiley face on it. So
that's special, David.
Yeah.
We're here at a very cold Silverstone racetrack. This is the second round of the Blancpain Endurance Championship in the UK. First time here. Really excited to do some laps. Why are we going that way? What's the difference? 3, it's gone well so far. We were quickest in the second practice. Just came in from free practice 3 and had a huge moment. But luckily there wasn't a lot of damage. It was almost like a video game crash. We still P1, but bring on tomorrow. Good morning from a noisy pit lane. It's time to qualify. Drivers warming up. Okay?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Last night coming down to here to be in pole position, first time Blancpain, I'm very proud.
We're on the way to the grid now. We qualified in pole position in class. Stephen Earl starts. I'll drive third.
Secret preparation to winning a race?
I personally think it's the PlayStation. Earlier this year we raced at a track in the UK in May called Silverstone, and I spent hours and hours and hours practicing that track on PlayStation. I'd never seen it in real life before. However, when we got there on the third lap, I was in the top 5 quickest.
Is the experience the same? You know, when you're practicing on PlayStation, you're actually on the track?
In many ways, not really, but their track simulation, the map, and the radius of the corners, etc., are so accurate that you get a pretty good feel for. We try to develop some muscle memory, so the braking points and the turning points. That helps a lot.
And what qualities does a young racing driver have to succeed in this world?
They have to believe in themselves 100%. You're obviously going to have some self-doubt along the way, but you have to overcome that very quickly. Yeah.
And how do you venture into this industry?
You got to pick up the phone, really, start calling. If there's a young guy out there who wants to start racing, or girl, I've raced against some girls who've beaten me actually.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I hope that's on camera.
You got to start in karting. The younger the better. I started late. It's considered late at 15. You can start at 3 or 4.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that risky though, David? 3-year-old.
No, I don't think so.
Why 3? That's
it's safer than riding a bicycle. At 3 years old.
Let me just gather myself there.
Yeah.
How though? Wow. Okay, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah,
but
they don't go that fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you teach them slowly. You first teach them what side the accelerator is and what side the brake is.
Okay.
And you build it up slowly but surely. In fact, when you first teaching them, you literally have a rope attached to their tiny little go-kart, so they can't go anywhere.
Sure.
Yeah.
And mental prep, what do you do to get yourself mentally in the moment?
Well, if you know that you've put in the hard work prior to a race, then it definitely helps. You have to be very calm. You can't get too excited or too upset by anything, and you have to practice that over and over. And if you've prepared, that's good. If you've done your exercises, if you're feeling fit, if you've done the practical stuff like making notes of racetracks and those things, then you should get to the track feeling like, okay, the only thing I need to do now is drive well.
Would you consider yourself an adrenaline junkie?
No, I don't like
for 15 marks.
I don't like jumping off bridges, skydiving, all those things. They scare me. Even going down a hill on a skateboard scares me. And racing, it's not the adrenaline that gets me going, it's the competition. I don't get scared necessarily driving it myself at 300 k's an hour. But if you were driving me at 300 k's an hour, I'd be like, stop the car, I'm out of here. In fact, even when an airplane takes off, that's like the most nervous time for me. I like close my eyes and grip the chair.
Wow. Do you ever get intimidated by another driver? Honestly now.
When I was younger, I think I did.
Okay, and now?
Now I think I've just been through enough to be like, well, that's the least of my worries. Getting to a racetrack has been really difficult for me.
But what's changed that not feeling intimidated?
I'm not sure. I had a bit of a mini breakthrough. When I was 23 years old, I competed in the World Karting Championships. And prior to that, I was really like, I didn't know how to compete or compare against international race drivers, and I almost ended up winning the World Championship.
Wow.
And that to me was like a light switch.
And how do you think racing can be made more accessible to people? Personally, I would never know where to start.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think karting could do a better job of marketing itself because it's such a great place to start. Unfortunately, racing just really is so expensive. I mean, that's why I had to sell everything that I owned to try and get back into it. That's the nature of the beast, and it's not going to get any cheaper.
Here we are at Monza, round 1. So we won. What an incredible race. Came out P3, 12-second gaps to the leaders, put as much pressure as I could. I was 1 second a lap quicker, and with 3 laps to go, he made a mistake while being lapped, and that gave me the lead, and we won. So yeah, team's really happy, I'm happy.
I'll try to warm them as much as possible. Remember brake vents. You're already on? Okay. Have fun!
Marco, thank
Good luck.
For everything.
Enjoy your race.
Grazie Marco.
Start the engine.
Morning, and it's day 3, the final day of the championship, and it could very well be my final race. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know what comes after this, so we are going to make the most of it. Start in pole position. Because of yesterday's win, we have a 15-second handicap, but we have really good pace, so if we can build up a 12-second lead in the first stint, 10 to 12 seconds or so, then I think Mirko has the pace to make up for the last 3 to 5 seconds. Double win! Double win!
Mirko Zalandini e Venire con l'animo dello sport. Prendere il nostro fuori.
What keeps you grounded, David?
The fact that I've had to do a lot of this myself. I've had a lot of failures in racing and in life actually. So that's you got to stay humble, you know. You're not the best ever. There's always going to be someone better, and you have to be aware of that. Always be trying to improve yourself. That's, to me, is how you stay grounded.
And how do you get rid of fear?
I'm not sure. Fear is what keeps you alive.
Okay.
Yeah. Fear is what allows you to push the limits and not go over them. So you need fear to operate at these levels.
Do you embrace fear?
Yes.
How?
You just, it's part of the game. You know, the fear of losing to me is what consumes me. That's why I want to win so badly. The fear of failure, it's intense. So you got to carry that with you. Yeah.
Are you religious?
Yes.
And what do you call the greater being other than yourself?
God.
God.
Yeah.
Do you talk to him? Do you pray to him?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And describe yourself in 3 words.
Oh, that's a trick question.
I know, always. At least I'm limited. I usually say 5, so at least I was nice to say 3.
3 words is even more difficult. I honestly have no idea how to describe myself in 3 words.
You really can't?
No, you're gonna have to ask my friends.
Who? Okay. All right. Would you say you're dedicated?
Yeah, absolutely.
Passionate?
Yeah.
I'm already doing well.
There you go.
Driven.
Very driven.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I see what you did, yeah.
What is your dream car?
Dream car. It's called a Ferrari 599 GTO. It's got an engine in it that came from the Ferrari hypercar called the Enzo. And to me, to have a GT car with like the super hypercar engine in it is just magic. Like the thought of that is pretty cool.
do you keep your private life private?
I just keep it off my social networks. But I'm not too precious about it. It is what it is. But I try and keep my sort of social media stuff focused on racing.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, we stalked you. We kind of saw that. Yeah.
You never know. So I try and keep it that way.
With your travels and you all over the world, how do you keep your relations intact?
It's really, really difficult. And when you're at racetracks, you spend your time speaking to fellow racing drivers and team members, like how do you maintain your relationships and stuff, because the travel's intense. I'm usually in Europe every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe I need to move there full time.
Are you considering that?
Yeah, I consider it all the time. I should actually be there already, but I love Cape Town so much that I'm trying really hard to stay here as long as I can. But probably next year I'll probably need to be there.
And everybody around you who loves you is okay with this?
It was a bit of a shake-up when I got back into racing, around the age 29, when I said, guys, I want to become a racing driver again. Everyone was like, oh, okay, cool, go ahead. And then it just sort of like, it really got ahead of itself. I was traveling all the time and everyone's like, you're not here, what about work and stuff? But we've managed to sort out a lot of that stuff. But it's not easy. It's a constant struggle. I don't know the answer, really.
For sure. What is the one life lesson that has taught you the most painful but truest experience, or lesson rather?
Wow. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, but what I can say is the one thing that I've learned now is that if you have a dream or anything, it's up to you to go get it. You can't rely on other people to do it for you. My friend Theo, we grew up together, is now a soccer coach, football coach. I was really bad at soccer, like really, really bad. And I would stand there and sort of wait for the ball to come to me. And he always says, Dave, if you want the ball, you got to go fetch
Not
it.
as bad as me, yeah.
I can promise you now, I'm pretty terrible. He's like, if you want the ball, you got to go fetch it yourself. And that's true for anything in life. It's a simple analogy, but it's true. If I wanted to become a racing driver again, it was me who had to pick up the phone and start cold calling people and get rejected over and over and over again.
And how do you deal with rejection in general? I don't think you deal with it as much as you used to now. Hello, David Perel. But then, I mean, how did you,
take it on the chin? Yeah, I still get rejections all the time. I'm mailing teams all the time, myself and my manager. And we're always pushing our luck. But that's part of the game. You're only going to win sort of 1 out of 100 of the things that you do. But, those wins are worth it.
For sure.
Yeah.
When lights are dark, doors are closed, you're silent, no one's around, what runs through your mind?
I do a lot of laps in my head.
Oh,
yeah.
You're that passionate, you're that guy.
I'm completely fixated on it. Yeah.
David, thank you so much for teaching us that racing to your dreams brings about fulfillment and you can make it in the end. Thanks for chatting.
It's been awesome being on the show.
Thank you so much.